Welcome back to online classes. Yes, students, I'm James here. Dear viewers, how are you? Today I am going to discuss with Indian Penal Code. Okay, Section 332 of IPC. This IPC explain about voluntarily causing act to deter public servant from his duty. Okay, briefly explain in this section. Whoever voluntarily causes act to any person being a public servant in the discharge of his duty as such public servant or with intent to prevent or deter that person or any other public servant from discharging his duty as such public servant or in consequence of anything done or attempted to be done by that person in the lawful discharge of his duty as such public servant shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may be extended to 3 years or with the fine or with both. Okay, the above section resembles section 353 of IPC. Okay, under it is there is causing of hurt to the public servant. Under section 353 there is assault or criminal force for the same purpose. The main ingredients of an offence under section 332 of Indian Penal Code are: number 1, hurt must have been caused to a public servant. Okay, the hurt must be caused by the public servant. That means any of the police officer, any of the government service. Okay, and second ingredients, it must have been caused. Number 1, while such public servant was acting in the discharge of his duty as such. Number 2, in order to prevent or deter him from discharging his duty as a public servant or in consequence of his having done or attempted to do anything in the lawful discharge of his duty as such public servant. Okay, in this situation, evidence necessary to establish an offence under section 332 of Indian Penal Code are: number 1, a accused voluntarily caused bodily pain, disease, infirmity to the victim as provided under section 321 of IPC. Okay, number 2, the victim of the hurt is public servant. Number 3, at the time of causing of hurt, the public servant concerned was discharging his duties qua public servant. Okay, an offence under section 332 of IPC is attracted if the accused voluntarily caused hurt to any person being a public servant in the discharge of his duty. It is not necessary to establish further that hurt was voluntarily caused to prevent or deter the person from discharging his duty as a public servant. On the other hand, if hurt was voluntarily caused to a public servant while not discharging his duty as a public servant, it is necessary to prove that hurt was caused with intent to prevent or deter that person or any other public servant from discharging his duty. Alternatively, if hurt was voluntarily caused to a public servant while he was discharging his official duty as such public servant, it is not necessary to establish further that it was so caused with the intention to prevent or deter that person from discharging his duty as such public servant. On the other hand, even if hurt was caused voluntarily to public servant, if he was not discharging his duty as a public servant at the time, it is not necessary to prove additionally that hurt was caused to prevent or deter that person from discharging his duty as a public servant. Okay, the Bombay High Court was held that if a subordinate officer enforces an order which prima facie appears to be a good order but is defective and its sources for want of jurisdiction, it cannot be said that the officer is not acting in the discharge of his duties as a public servant. And another issue, when a public servant was assaulted due to an earlier private quarrel, the assault having no casual connection with the duty of the public servant, the accused could not be held liable under section 332 of IPC. Okay, his conviction was therefore changed into one under section 323 of IPC. Okay, students, we'll go to another section 333. Section 333 of IPC explain about voluntarily causing grievous hurt to deter public servant from his duty. Voluntarily causing grievous hurt. Earlier section 332 is voluntarily causing hurt. I think you know what is the difference between hurt and grievous hurt. We already discussed with earlier video classes also. So I do not want to explain detail. So this section 333 of IPC explain about voluntarily causing grievous hurt to deter public servant from his duty. This expansion of this act is whoever voluntarily cause grievous hurt to any person being a public servant in discharge of his duty as public servant or with intent to prevent or deter that person or any other public servant from discharging his duty as such public servant, or in consequence of anything done or attempted to be done by that person in the lawful discharge of his duty as such public servant, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend it to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Okay, yearly section 332 of IPC section, how much the punishment of imprisonment? Only 3 years, because hurt, that is simple hurt. This sections explain about grievous hurt. So because the extending imprisonment year also extended 10 years. Okay, this section provides for aggravated form of the offence dealt with in the last section. The hurt caused under it must be grievous, where the accused gave first blow on the face of the victim which caused loosening of one tooth. Okay, but the victim was discharged from the hospital on the same day, moved about throughout the day and attended his duties. The next day it was held that the injury could not be regarded as grave and serious. It was case of simple hurt. Okay, the basic difference between section 333 and 325 of IPC are that section 325 gets attracted where grievous hurt is caused, whereas section 333 gets attracted if such hurt is caused to a public servant. Okay, another example I will give you. A complainant had sustained grievous hurt while he was in patrolling duty. You know very well patrolling duty, rounds, the police officer rounds, patrolling duty. He was questioning the unauthorized parking of a pickup van. He was taken inside the van, then kicked and pushed. In this, witness corroborated Corroborated means confirmation each other on material particulars, conviction is upheld. Okay. And another thing where a police constable is assaulted by unknown persons and no identification parade was conducted, it is held that accused cannot be convicted unless it is proved that the injury was inflicted by the accused. Okay. And another provision, but when accused assaulted the police officer who intercepted his auto for violating traffic rules and accused assaulting PW2 is well established, is held that acquittal is not proper. PW2 means petitioner witness 2, not proving that particular area. Okay. Okay students, let's see another important section, section 300. Okay, I will give you another related example, section 333. Irrationality in sentence. What does that mean? It is bizarre to note that there is terrible irrationality in the sentence prescribed for committing offence under section 333 of IPC. The said offence is in combination of offence defined under section 320 and the offence of assault on a public servant punishable under section 333 of IPC. The offence of grievous hurt is punishable under section 326 IPC with life imprisonment or with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine, whereas a higher form of manifested offence under section 333 is made punishable only with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend it to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. The lawmakers shall take note of the anomaly in the sentencing policy and effect necessary correction by way of amendment. Although it is belated, yet the lawmakers at least should now wake up to go for a throughout rational and scientific views and scientific review of sentencing policy for all the offences. The different type of injuries enumerated under section 320 of IPC do not ensue same amount of harm, pain and disability. Therefore, proportionate to the nature of grievous injuries and its consequences, the punishment should be redefined. So also the punishment for an offence under section should be redefined. Okay, now it's clear. Okay students, we'll go to another section. I think it is easy to remember and it is very easy to comparison to this section to another section. So this section also I just wanted to explain the same video. Section 334 of IPC explain about voluntarily causing hurt on provocation. Provocation means, suddenly. Okay, suddenly provoking. Section 334 the further explain about whoever voluntarily causes hurt on grave and sudden provocation, if he neither intends nor knows himself to be likely to cause hurt to any person other than the person who gave the provocation, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to one month, or with fine which may extend to 500 rupees, or with both. Okay. What is this section serves proviso to section 323 and 24. This commentary we already discussed earlier video also. Section 300 and subclass 1 explanation. Okay, same. What is the sentence? The High Court imposed a sentence of 1 year for the offence of under section 334 of IPC, where the maximum sentence for offence under section 334 IPC is 1 month. So the sentence reduced to 1 month. Okay, now it's clear, I think so. Okay, we'll go to another section. Section 335 of IPC explain about voluntarily causing grievous hurt on provocation. This is grievous hurt. Section 334 is only hurt, voluntary hurt. This is grievous hurt. Okay, in the section explain about clearly, whoever voluntarily causes grievous hurt on grave and sudden provocation, if he neither intends nor knows himself to be likely to cause grievous hurt to any person other than the person who gave the provocation, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for term, which may extend to 4 years, or with fine, which may extend to 2000 rupees fine, okay, or with both jail and fine also. That depends upon situation, the inherent court, circumstance and gravity of the offence. Okay, so here the last two sections are subject to the same provisions. Section 300 and subclause explanation 1 is related. This section serves as a provision to section 325 and 26. 325 and 326. However, in the absence of the exact verse being recorded, the abuse even involving mother and sister, which are commonly indulged in by rustic villagers like the accused, could not be regarded as grave and sudden within the meaning of the section unless there is sudden and grave provocation. Okay, then the section 335 will not be attracted. We'll go to another section, section 336. What is that? The section saying act endangering life, act endangering life or personal safety of others. The section explained about whoever does not act so rashly or negligently, as to endanger human life or the personal safety of others, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term, which may extend it to 3 years, or with fine, which may extend it to 150 rupees, or with both. Here, rash and negligent acts which endanger human life or the personal safety of others are punishable under this section, even though no harm follows, and are additionally punishable under section 337 and 338 if they cause hurt or grievous hurt. The word rashly means something more than mere inadvertence or inattentiveness or want of ordinary care. It implies an indifference to obvious consequence and to the right of others. Okay, an intentional act done with consideration cannot be a rash and negligent act. Okay, and another thing, same section explain about example. I will give you more example. Many specific acts of rashness or negligence likely to endanger life or to cause hurt or injury are made punishable. Already explained chapter 14 of Indian Penal Code. Okay, the section 279 punishes rash driving or riding. Okay, section 280 of IPC explain rash navigation of vessels. 284 explain rash or negligent conduct with respect to poisonous substance, and 285 of IPC rash or negligent conduct with respect to any fire or combustible matter. Okay, 286 explain rash or negligent conduct with respect to any explosive substance. Section 287 of IPC explain negligent conduct with respect to any machinery in the prosecution of the accused. Section 288 explain negligence with respect to pulling down or repairing buildings. And section 289 of IPC explain negligent with respect to animals. Section 304A of IPC explain rash or negligent act causing death. And section 336 of IPC explain any rash or negligent act endangering life or personal safety of others. Section 337 of IPC explain rash or negligent act causing hurt. And section 338 explain about rash or negligent act causing grievous hurt, like section 304A. Okay. Section 279, section 336, section 337 and 338 of IPC are attracted for only the negligent or rash act. Okay. The scheme of section 279, 304A, 336, 337, 338 leaves no manner of doubt that these offences are punished because of the inherent danger of the acts specified therein, irrespective of knowledge or intention to produce the result and irrespective of the result. Okay, this section makes punishable the acts themselves which are likely to cause death or injury to human life. I will give you another example. So the above sections are related to rash and negligent. Okay, now it's clear, I think so, how many sections are explained rash and negligent act. Okay, so now I am giving a small example. A priest of temple, okay, left the temple at night and from outside deliberately threw bricks at it, hoping that Hindus of the locality would believe that the bricks came from the Mohammedan quarters, and that this would lead to a riot between the two communities. It was held that act was deliberate one and not a rash or negligent act. Okay, this situation section 336 is non-compoundable offence. Acquittal of accused on basis of compromise from the charges framed under section 336 is held improper. Proceedings were initiated against master and crew for rash and negligent navigation of vessels. Allegations was only against master. Case was registered against rest crew members, also set aside. Okay, this two example is clearly explained above sections. Okay students, I will close this session. We'll meet you again next online classes. Okay, read it properly, study well, improve your knowledge and stay in your legal mind. All the best. Thank you. Subscribe immediately. Those who are not subscribing in this video, subscribe and enjoy with your legal life. Okay, thank you lawyers, students, viewers. Bye.